All right, let's dive into something that's, well, a real puzzle. We're talking about why marketing a service, like a flight or a haircut or even financial advice, is a completely different ballgame than marketing a product you can actually hold. It's trickier than you think, so let's start putting the pieces together.
And really, it all boils down to this, doesn't it? If you buy a bad phone, it's just a bad phone. Annoying, but whatever. But a bad service? Whoa. That feels different. It feels personal. It's an experience, and it's happening right there, in that moment. That's the secret sauce, the thing that makes marketing services so incredibly unique.
So let's just lay it out, side by side. On one hand, you've got goods. It's pretty straightforward, right? They're tangible, you can touch them, you buy it, you own it, it's made somewhere else, and then you get it. But services, they are the total opposite. They're intangible, they're experiences, and get this, they're made and consumed at the exact same time. And because people are involved, they can be all over the place in terms of quality. This isn't just a tiny little difference, it literally changes everything.
Now, these big differences, they create 5 huge challenges that anybody trying to sell a service has to figure out. So let's unpack these quirks one by one.
Okay, first up, and this is the big one, intangibility. I mean, think about it. You can't test drive a college degree like you can a car. You're paying for a promise, for a benefit, like knowledge, that you can't see or touch before you hand over your money. This makes it super hard for people to figure out if what they're about to buy is actually any good.
And that leads us straight into challenge number 2, inseparability. You see, a product can sit in a warehouse for months, but a service, nope. The personal trainer has to be right there with you for the workout. The chef has to be in the kitchen making your dinner. The service itself and the person providing it are totally linked, which puts some serious limits on how big you can scale. And because people are so key to this whole thing, you run into the third challenge, heterogeneity. This just means the quality can be, well, inconsistent. That awesome barista who makes your coffee just right on Monday? Yeah, on Tuesday, you might get the new trainee who's having a rough day. That human element is what can make a service amazing one day and a total nightmare the next. Challenge number 4 is a tough one, perishability. You just can't stick a service on a shelf. An empty seat on an airplane once it takes off, or a hotel room that isn't booked for the night, that's revenue that is just gone. Poof, forever. You can't sell yesterday's empty seats today. This makes managing supply and demand an absolutely critical juggling act. And the 5th challenge kind of messes with our whole idea of what it means to buy something, ownership. When you buy a service, you don't own it. You pay to stream a movie, but you don't own the film. You hail a rideshare, but you don't own the car. What you're really paying for is access, temporary access to a benefit or an experience, not a thing to keep.
But here's the cool part. For every single one of these challenges, there's a smart marketing move. To deal with intangibility, you try to make the service feel more real, maybe with a really nice office or a slick website. To manage that inconsistency, you standardize everything you can and pour resources into training your staff. And for perishability, you get creative with pricing, like happy hour specials or cheaper movie tickets in the afternoon. It's all about matching that supply and demand.
So it makes sense, right? If the problems are totally unique, you're going to need a different set of tools to fix them. And that means we need to expand the old-school marketing toolkit. For ages, marketing was all about the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. It was a solid model, and for physical goods, it worked great. But for services, that's just not enough. To manage a living, breathing experience, you need to add 3 more to the mix, bringing our grand total to 7.
So what are these 3 new Ps? Well, first, you've got people, and that means everyone, from your employees in the front line to the other customers in the building. Second is physical evidence. These are the tangible hints that scream quality, like how clean a restaurant is or how easy an app is to use. And third, process. This is how the service actually gets delivered. Is it quick and painless or a slow, confusing mess? Honestly, for a service business, getting these 3 right is everything.
Okay, so having the right tools is one thing. But using them all together in a smart, coordinated way, that's a whole other level. And that's where something called the service triangle comes in.
This quote right here, it gets to the absolute core of why this triangle thing is so important. In that one single moment when a service is delivered, marketing isn't just something the ad department does, it's what everybody is doing.
Look at it like this. First, the company makes a promise to you. That's external marketing, the commercials you see. Then, the company has to give its own employees the tools and training to actually deliver on that promise. We call that internal marketing.
But the real moment of truth is the interactive marketing. That's when the employee actually helps you, the customer. If those three sides of the triangle don't line up perfectly, the promise gets broken.
And the stakes here are so high. If any side of that triangle is weak, the whole experience just falls apart. A brilliant ad campaign means nothing if your staff is clueless, and amazing employees can't do their job if management doesn't support them. When those promises are broken, customers don't just get a bad product, they have a bad experience, and they walk.
All right, now for our last piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the one thing that has completely rewritten the rulebook for all of this: technology.
Technology is kicking off what some people are calling a service revolution. I mean, it's actually helpful to think of the entire internet as one giant service, a massive platform for sharing stuff, making deals, and connecting us. Every single business online is, really, a service provider at its heart. And this isn't some abstract theory. You see this revolution happening every single day. It's the ride-sharing apps on your phone, the AI chatbots answering your questions online, the automated check-ins at the airport. Tech isn't just making old services better, it's creating completely new ways of doing business that we couldn't have even imagined a few years back.
Which brings us to our final and, I think, most important question. As technology starts to handle all the routine, boring parts of a service, what happens to the people? When things go wrong, when a customer needs real empathy or a creative fix, does that human touch suddenly become even more valuable? Does it become the one thing that truly sets a service apart? Something to think about the next time you have a really great or a really, really bad service experience.